was in the Slump Big Chest. So I'm assuming he either saw that or took place in that match and wants to do that again because everyone enjoyed it.
So our gladiators are ready and we are off.
LewdDolphin starting in Sanctuary, just picking up a small key. Generally not what you want to see for your Sanctuary item. Alright, a quick map check. We have crystals 3 and 7 at Hare and Desert, and I believe this is the blue pendant at Eastern.
We'll be seeing that map check again shortly, I'm sure. And Lewd is heading up towards Lumberjack Cave.
It looks like both players starting on the same route here. One of the nice things about Open compared to Standard is kind of just that even that early choice of starting in Link's House or Sanctuary, you can see a little bit of divergence right from the beginning. It looks like both players will be starting to see the same way here.
So the tree and the critters are only dropping hearts, not what the runners want to see.
Oh, that's not what they want to see either. Oh boy, did you see that one?
That looked like an arrow. I'm double checking that right now.
It was the hook shot in the Lumberjack Cave there.
Oh no!
So we are gonna be seeing our good friend Ega1 at some point in this seed. The bright side of that is means boots will hopefully be somewhere reasonable.
As we are heading over towards the mushroom spot, which actually has a vanilla mushroom.
Vanilla mushroom. They'll be able to turn that in to the witch. And then silver arrows.
Wow.
House right here. So they're gonna need the bow to go with those. But if they find that early on, it's gonna be shaping up to make for some quick boss kills.
That's definitely a good thing. They would need all the ammo they can get right now. And it looks like everybody's making the standard play to go into Kakariko. No bombs and only 2 rupees apiece. This is going to be a little bit of a hard trip for them.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be hoping to find some money and some bombs in these first few chests here. Because ultimately they're going to be looking to get bombs so they can check all of the item locations here. And there's bombs in the first chest for DududeDude. So that'll help them check the rest of the chests in Kakariko. We got a red rupee. Going to be looking for at least 80 more rupees to buy the bottle merchant item.
With how the logic tends to be, it sometimes likes giving you money pretty early on. Plus there's other ways of farming it up really quickly too, as we get our first bottle out of the back.
Alright, so I'll let them net an extra item off Sick Kid. As you mentioned, yeah, there are some extra ways to farm money, so both players opting to pick up all the pots there for an extra 30 rupees. Again, they really are looking to get those 100 rupees, so they don't have to worry about leaving an item behind in Kakariko.
As we go into the well, which was big old... Oh, there's the money we were talking about.
Yeah, so that'll take care of their early money needs.
Yeah, this scene seems pretty generous so far, considering we already have silver arrows as opposed to a lot of the other races. As we find the lamp in the well.
Yeah, again, we already know that Ega is going to be required, so there's a decent chance of that lamp showing up early as well. So we're going to need either 2 swords or a cape and a sword to actually be able to go kill Ega.
So, bottle vendor showing up with a full heart container. That's actually not too bad.
Oh, there was a nice move by Lewd. He grabbed that bottle he found in the back of the thieves' hut and saw that there's a golden bee in there, so he let it go. And the bottle merchant gives you 100 rupees for that golden bee, so he's able to check that item essentially for free.
So, does it actually give you the money if you have the bee in the bottle when you show it to him, or will you have to release it in front of him?
You release it and the bee will fly over to him, and he's just like, oh, here's 100 rupees. He's like, thanks for the bee, here's some money.
That's very nice, actually, as we get Quack out of the back of the tavern, 20 rupees from the other places, so there's some value in Kakariko.
An early medallion's not particularly useful, but it can be one less thing to worry about later on. Both players opting to pick up some bombs, which is a great call since they don't have any other actual weapons yet. And you need some early bombs to check another handful of locations throughout the Light World map here.
So, Swerve, do you happen to know which sprites these wonderful people are using today?
DududeDude is playing as... I can't remember the actual name, but it's the sprite from Secret of Mana.
Oh, okay, one of those.
The one the LewdDolphin is playing as is just called Nature Link, I believe. Just a naked Link with a leaf covering his vitals there. And there's a cane in the library.
One half of the infamous Team Hyrule canes right there. So all we need to do is find the Daniel Bryan cane next. Just bombs in the maze, though.
Yeah, both players opting to just run through the maze. And then there's the Moon Pearl in Link's house.
So what is this telling our runners as Dude heads into his escape, actually?
He's at the very least wanting to want to check these 2 free items from Uncle. They do have enough bombs that they could make their way through the rest of at least down to Zelda's cell if they want to. But they might choose to head towards like Moldorm Cave or something where there's 5 items waiting for them.
Escape isn't a bad play. The only issue is when you only have bombs as a weapon, no means of stunning anything, and then no other weapons, it can be a challenge getting every item out of here.
Yeah, it can be a bit tricky killing all the required guards with just bombs.
Nothing interesting in the escape, just 20 rupees and a piece of heart as looks like we're going into the castle now. A little bit of issue with some of the guards in the left-hand hallway.
I'm seeing, I was going to chat. The boots can't be in Turtle Rock whatsoever because of the cane in the library. But it can be in most of Mire, anywhere but Vitreous. And it can be in the front half of Swamp.
Oh, we find the Power Glove in the first chest. That was definitely the right call.
Yeah, that's a nice find. At the very least, it'll let them get to the back of Escape and check those 3 chests quite quickly. So I imagine what we'll see from both players is after they go check Zelda's cell here, we'll see a save and quit to Sanctuary, and they'll check the back 3 chests and Escape. And they already have that small key, so if they don't find the map, they do have a lantern, they could opt to go check that sewers chest as well.
Nice full magic drop there off the guard. To answer the question in the chat, the level 1 sword is needed for Agnum at least.
Yeah, there's a set of curtains blocking your way to the Aghanim boss fight that requires a sword to cut.
Other than that, the 2 chests that are in Aghanim's tower will always have small keys on them. Bit of a kamikaze strats from both of these runners on the bomb usage.
Yeah, left DududeDude at quite a bit of low health, but thankfully there's always hearts under those little pots. And so he opts to pick those up a little bit, heads up to reset the pots, and then he can toss a couple of them at this ball and chain guard to take them out real quick.
Yeah, it takes 2 pots for that, and that's definitely the safer strategy, only having bombs in their inventory. We're going to see what's in the cell chest in just a moment.
Just a fighter shield. So they got the Power Glove in that first chest, and then not really much after that. piece of heart and a fighter shield, I believe.
So it was definitely the right call to make, but not much value in the rest of the escape.
But it will let them check the back here, which DududeDude is already on his way to do. And that will be 3 more chests, and we haven't seen the map yet, so if the map isn't back there, they can just save and quit again and ignore that sewers chest.
That's definitely what both of these winners are wanting to see right now, is all the value right here in these 3 chests as we're heading in to check them right now.
Lude is... He actually went back to Link's house. He's trying to farm up a little bit more money to get enough money for Zora, it looks like. He picked up that rock that had a red rupee under it, and then he respawned it. But now he's going...
Yeah, there was only the map and the key and some other piece of hearts in there, so there's definitely one more item down here.
Yeah, I was wondering if they would save this for later or not, because there we see DududeDude having a little bit of trouble killing the rat there with the bomb, but he got it eventually.
Dude running low on bombs again, though. Just one left.
Ooh, nice. So that was definitely worth the trouble. You got a fire rod.
That fire rod, though, extra value in the castle escape, and looks like we're probably going to be having to need that pretty really soon.
Well, I guess they already had the fire source in the lamp, but without an actual weapon to speak of. The fire rod does a lot of good damage.
So, dude setting up for the Houlihan room right here.
And that full magic pickup dude found earlier is definitely going to be useful. So I'll give him 8 fire rod shots before he has to worry about refilling his magic. Which is going to be a nice leg up over Lude's, like, 2 that I think he has magic for.
So something interesting of note with that special rupee room right there. The winner of the secondary tournament is actually going to get placed on that tile in the back.
It's a nice little reward. So yeah, dude going into the Houlihan room there to get some rupees. He's gonna buy some bombs. He's probably gonna make... he's gonna check this Lake Island for a piece of heart. Both players sitting at a little over 500 rupees here. Zora is technically accessible through the logic because of that power glove they have. And with that Moon Pearl in tow, they might opt to fake Flipper up to Zora after checking these southern item locations.
That would seem to be on the back of their minds there as we are heading into the dam area. Let's see what's in these 2 item locations right here. First up, the chest in the front. Wow, we have the ice rod in the first chest.
So we got the twin rods basically back to back. We already know where Kane is. I wonder if Turtle Rock is going to be required. What do you think?
Well, since my pedestal prediction is completely dead right now, I'm hoping it sends them up into Turtle Rock eventually. Just 20 rupees in the flooded area, though. Heading over towards the Light World Height Cave, which has a big whopping 5 items inside of it, and they definitely have things to actually take care of the mini Moldworms in here now.
Yeah, DududeDude's got full magic in those 2 rods, so he's gonna have an easier time with this. Lude's only gonna get 2 shots off before he's gonna have to kill the remaining... Oh, also, I forgot, dude still had his bee, so he just unleashed that to take out the Moldworms. It's a really clever usage of the bee as well.
It's the fighter's sword off one of the items in there. Something interesting of note, that's actually a really strong weapon if you manage to find the net.
Yeah, the bee combat with the net, you can release the bee, have it kill things for you, and then when it flies back over to you, just recatch with your net. Recycle your bees.
The only thing I found it doesn't work on really in the Light World is actually the Cyclops, where it'll actually proc all of the hits on it if its eyes closed and then just leave without you being able to catch it again. Otherwise... Oh no, they're going near my house again. Keep them away, keep them away. Oh, looks like I have to send out more $100 service bills for these runners as they're blowing up in my house and taking the items that are inside of it.
And stealing a piece of heart. It's a long trip for just a piece of heart. So you often see runners opt to skip out on Ice Cave. Although at this point, they don't have that many options. So it's probably worth checking. So they haven't found much to really open up the map too much. They have the Power Glove and the Lantern that gives them access up to Death Mountain. And then the Power Glove also opens up Zora to the Logic. And then we have a few items here that they can get to through Fake Flippering.
Fake Flipper definitely seems to power play here. And yeah, they stole a piece of heart for my love and affection. That's all you get. You don't even get a full heart. Now this trick can be a little bit hard to pull off, but Lude gets it on the second attempt.
Yeah, the Fake Flipper glitch requires you to be 1 pixel away from the screen transition. You hop into the water and trigger the screen transition just as you land in. And the game will never check to see if you have Fake Flippers. The logic doesn't require this, but it's totally okay by the tournament rules. It allows you to check some of these locations early on without the flippers. Possibly find some things of value that lets you sequence break the seed. Unfortunately, so far they've just found some bombs from the hobo under the bridge here.
As Dude is actually making the way over to Zora right now. 500 rupees plus in tow, so we can definitely see that. Plus the 2 items in the waterfall cave here, and the item on the ledge.
So then we got DududeDude popping in and out of that waterfall cave. And there's the boots! And the bow! Holy crap, what a combo!
Waterfall cave showing up huge for both of these runners. Now, unless they see the flippers off of Zora, the vanilla flippers, we won't be able to access that item, assuming it's even worth grabbing.
Just an arrow upgrade. This could be huge if the flippers aren't on Zora. Great call by both players. So, combining the fake flippers with just having the Moon Pearl in your inventory allows you to walk on water, like these 2 players have, and that lets you grab these 2 waterfall items early.
So the fortunate thing is Zora actually having a refund for both of our runners, instead only losing 200 rupees out of the process. It's way better than some of the other things he tends to give out.
Definitely, and considering they're probably going to want about a couple hundred more rupees for possibly the chess game, the digging game, and pod in the Dark World. Having that little bit of money back is very useful. And Lude throwing a bottle into the Pyramid Fairy, or not Pyramid Fairy, the Waterfall Fairy Fountain. If you throw an empty bottle into either one of those fairy fountains, you get something in return. You got a green potion for a shovel.
Delicious free lime Kool-Aid saving 60 rupees right there and giving the extra magic refill, so that's 120 saved. That's massive gains.
Dude, turning in that mushroom and getting another 300 rupees. So he's officially loaded now after essentially selling drugs to a witch.
All of the Kool-Aid money, it's just not black market variety. So Lude heading straight back to the house and then going, looks like the play's going to Eastern now with bow and silvers. This will be a very quick clear.
Yeah, so Eastern is unfortunately the one Light World dungeon that is a pendant, and it's technically a sequence break right now. Until we find the flippers, anything they do with the boots or bow is not expected by the seed.
In the back of Sahasrara's hut, we just have a full heart container and then a small heart as well, as long as just 5 rupees. Not too much value there. But the green pendant is in pod. Now, a lot of runners won't check that information normally.
Yeah, generally, it's easier to just opt until you get to the Dark World and check the map all at once.
But even though, as you said, it's in a sequence break, they're actually heading into Eastern Palace anyways. 3 items in here.
Yeah, again, at this point, they don't have that many options. They do have access to the cane in the library. That's not going to do much for them. They can go to the Bunker Up Cave by Sanctuary, which is also a sequence break at this point, so might not lead to what they need. And there's the hammer. The first chest in Eastern. I was actually going to mention that the green pendant info could actually be of use if they found the hammer here. Because with the Moon Pearl hammer and Power Glove in tow, as well as the bow in their inventory, either player could opt to pop over to the Dark World on this side, and they could complete pod right now if they wanted to. Wow, and there's magic powder too.
Eastern Palace being kind of big here with a huge necessary hammer, and then the magic powder, which is one of the great safety items that we have here. And yeah, you are definitely right. Pod could be the call after this. That's actually a really smart play.
It could. I'm not sure. It's hard to say at this point. Pod is generally a pretty lucrative area, but it is also pendant. But it is also the green pendant.
5 items full clear, plus the green pendant actually having a 6th item. There could be huge value in pod that we're just not seeing yet. I think the most exciting part of this is that we have both runners pretty much side by side holding hands right here as they traverse through Eastern Palace.
Yeah, they're neck and neck, done pretty much the same things so far, so I'm hoping for a little bit of divergence here soon. But obviously both players here are going to at least check this last item location, this last chest at least. There's 1 item left here. Whether I don't know, I'm curious to see if there's if the last item is on the boss, if the players will opt to go kill the boss or not. And it is. And it looks like Dude is opting to go kill the boss, as is Lewd. Lewd and Dude are both going to go kill the boss. Keep in mind that this is a sequence break by the logic.
Very true. That's may or may not be in the back of their heads right now. This play is potentially going to pay off big if they have to actually check pedestal. To answer the chat concerns, there are a lot of arrow drops up here, so ammo shouldn't be an issue for Armos.
Yeah, coupled with the fact that they already have silvers, they'll be able to... Dude will be able to kill everything he needs with arrows. With the 13 he has, even if he weren't to pick up any more.
Now that bow right there is the reason we actually have to go have it to clear this dungeon, because those red Cyclops only take arrow shots, and that's going to come into a factor later once we get towards the end of the game. The 3rd item being the shovel.
That's amazing. Alright, I'm hoping both of these players go check that. I have a feeling they will. They might both go check that shovel spot and then grab that cane. Or they might both be heading down to this Dark World portal. We could see both of them dip into pod.
Get your hype ready as looks like we are going into pod for both of these runners.
I can't believe both of these players are doing the same thing. Like, they're considering with that hammer in the Dark World access, they could do so many things right now. Like, the whole seed, like, the whole Dark World is open to them for the most part.
So a map check from Lude. 5 and 6 are Skull Woods and Thieves Town. That is super easy to get.
And I believe the last pendant was Swamp Palace?
We'll confirm that on the next map check on Dude's side. Both of them needing 110 rupees to go into the maze and enter in pod, but both of them have it, so no problems here.
Yeah, the remaining pendant is on Swamp Palace, as we have DududeDude doing his map check. I really like this play. But I really enjoy the fact that both of them are opting to do this. As I said, either player could have saved and quit and gone over to the west side of the Dark World, where Thieves Town and Skull Woods are both fully completable at this point, and both are crystals, and they're also crystals 5 and 6. So they're both kind of making a bit of a gamble here going into pod, and possibly gambling on the screen pendant, but also pod itself just generally has something of value.
So there are a big whopping 5 items in here. Again, that 6th item being on that green pendant. Early game, this is a really smart play, I believe. Once you're 60 to 90 minutes in, it's definitely something you don't want to have to do unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell. So the interesting thing here to note is that both Eastern Palace and Pod were pendants, which means the bow isn't necessarily required until Ganon's Tower, unless something is bow locked, either in Eastern or Pod. So that shovel could be something very valuable since it was bow locked. Or we might see something on the right side of Pod or on Helmasaur. Or that green pendant, which are all bow locked.
That is definitely a true thing. Now, the wonderful part about Pod is it tends to have all the keys in the front of it in order to help prevent soft locks. That means the back half is usually quite interesting to actually pay attention to.
And there's the book on the right side, so that could be a required book. They might need that to get into the desert if we don't find the flute and mitts beforehand. Or it might mean that there's something of value in one of the tablets.
Lude showing off a very interesting strategy of actually bouncing back up onto that ledge. That is huge payoff. Both of them actually doing it.
Yeah, this kind of the route these players took tends to be, in my opinion, the best route through Pod if you have the items to do so. We kind of check that first ledge item there that in the middle, and then backtrack for the vanilla big key location and kind of do the loop around that we did. Ooh, and there's a Master Sword pickup for Lude, which will allow them access to that, coupled with that book, will allow them access to Ether Tablet right now, and Bombos Tablet if they find them near.
There's the big key in the basement. Both of them doing the correct decision not to pause buffer their way over to the big key chest, so that way they don't have to waste time coming back to it.
Yeah, that hammer jump, bomb jump is gotten a lot of value in Randomizer compared to old days. Now that we've had like some reworks in the key logic for dungeons, you're more likely to find this big key in the front half of Pod than you used to be. So knowing how to do this bomb jump is pretty useful. But until you find the big key, this isn't particularly useful. Lewd opting to do it. This is useful because he doesn't have the mirror, so he only has to make one trip through this dark maze. The other option is to do what Dude is doing and just kind of take damage from these fireballs that always do 1 heart of damage no matter what tunic you have. And if only 6 hearts, sets up for a pretty quick death warp.
So it's not a bad strategy, but unless we see an item right here, we've actually seen the map and compass already. King Bulbasaur does have an item, as we see just 10 arrows in that one chest. Dude successfully pulling off the death warp as we're going to go straight towards King Bulbasaur for Lewd. It looks like both of the runners are making the same play.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they've both committed to doing Pendant Pod. There's Helmasaur's worth 2 items now, coupled with the green pendant that he's gonna drop. So they might as well finish it at this point, I think. Even though the book might be what they needed out of this place, what the bow is gonna lead them to. But it can always be a dangerous prospect to leave 2 items behind.
I think that was definitely the safe and smart play by both of these runners. Only 30 minutes in, and we're actually going to go ahead and clear up 2 pendants out of the way.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. And I wonder if we'll get a ped check soon. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. Both players have only done 2 dungeons, both of them pendant dungeons, and they just found the book. And once they kill Aghanim, which they can now do with that Master Sword in hand, they'll have access to that hook shot, which means they already have access to the 3rd pendant. Or no, they need the mirror still, and flippers. Never mind. Getting way ahead of myself. Which actually means the flute is about the only thing, or a medallion, are the only things that could really be on the pedestal that matter at this point.
I'm sure with Skullwoods being a 6 and 5 crystal, we are going to see that check eventually. Probably sooner than later. As Lewd goes into the King Bulbasaur fight, gets trolled by the Fireball RNG. Getting trolled by the RNG again. Now, Bulbasaur King will either use that Fireball, which takes a few seconds each time he does it, since you can't really get near him, or he'll swing his tail at you, which is what you want to see, actually.
Oh! That is not good.
Dude taking the fall at Bulbasaur King, that is truly unfortunate. Chooses to go right back in and take round 2 for revenge though, but that is going to finally put some distance between the 2.
Yeah, he's opting to head back. Lewd picked up a full heart from... Or maybe as a heart piece, I actually didn't see. But he has 1 more heart now after killing Helmasaur. Dude is going to go back for round 2. Yeah, that's rough. So Helmasaur King, all of his attacks do 2 hearts of damage, and when you're in green mail. So when you're sitting at only 6 hearts, he can rack up the damage and kill you really quickly.
Lewd opting to get the check for the green pendant out of the way, finds
another heart piece. So if there's anything important bow locked in either Eastern or Pod is either the shovel or this book they have in hand. And we won't know until those get checked.
To answer the chat, or the... Yes, the chat. That is still a sequence break, technically.
Yeah, until we find the flippers, anything they get with the bow or the boots, or anything that they get from those is off sequence. So flippers are missing in action because the bow and boots were both in the waterfall fairy cave.
Lude, taking the interesting approach of doing Agnum 1 sooner than later, has the silver, so he'll be able to clean up this mini dungeon really nicely.
Yeah, I think this is a really smart call. He's got the silvers, so Agnum's tower should go fairly quickly. And he'll get the hook shot for his reward, which will allow him to go up Death Mountain and work his way up around to Hera, which will let him check that Ether Tablet with that Book of Master Sword, as well as clear out Hera, which is a crystal diamond. And we got DududeDude cleaning up Helmasaur quite handedly with his rematch there. But that's definitely going to cost him. That cost him a couple minutes. Because they were neck and neck until that happened. Helmasaur can be a tough boss when you're low on health or in green mail. Like I said, he does 2 hearts of damage, it racks up really quickly. He basically got kind of comboed by the fireball and basically just Helmasaur's face for 4 hearts really quickly.
Both of them choosing to do Agnum's tower now. Now, flippers are on the pyramid. That would have made this entirely worthwhile. Otherwise, we could see some more weird calls, since I don't think either of them are really paying attention to the fact that it's still a sequence break to do those dungeons.
Yeah, it can be very useful if you keep that knowledge in mind, because it can help you kind of narrow down where things are. But the interesting thing here is the Zora's Ledge item is useless, and Swamp Palace is a pendant dungeon. So unless we see pedestal required, they might be able to just skip out of the flippers entirely by fake flippering to Ice Palace.
So, when we were talking about in the chat earlier, this is the reason why you need the level 1 or higher sword, is these curtains right here in the teleportation room.
Yeah, you need a sword to cut down those curtains, and it's definitely not a mistake you want to make, is trying to do this without a sword. It feels real bad. So you get all the way to the end, you spend like 5 minutes climbing this tower, and then you run into those curtains, and you're just like, oh. Well, crap.
So the chat getting in on the game. Now, Agnum 1 will do between 0 and 15 blue balls, which is the 6-pronged projectile attack that basically wastes all your runner's time. The RNG calculated to this is the same for both, regardless, because that's what the seed program's in, so they will have the same amount regardless.
Yeah, in the base game, basically, Aghanim always starts with a reflectable ball, and then the next 3, he basically flips a coin to decide if he wants to shoot a blue ball or one that you can knock back. And then his 5th attack is always lightning. For the randomizer, all those coin flips are decided ahead of time when the seed is created, so both players will kind of run into the same amount of blue balls to keep things fair.
Still maybe a minute or 2 separating these runners as Lude finishes up and goes to check what's on the pyramid.
It's another 300 piece. Lude decides he's already rich enough. Doesn't need that chump change.
Poor in pocket, rich in spirit, as Dude goes ahead and starts the Agnum 1 fight. Lude definitely more interested in the famous shot hook that is actually going to be in the tree, but decides to go ahead and check the bonk rocks first.
Might as well on the way here. Pick up a full heart. Again, sitting in the green mail, full heart can be a nice thing to find.
Now it's every 4th attack, I believe it is the lightning, or is it every 5th attack?
It's every 5th. So the first one is a guaranteed like normal shot that he reflects, and then he does 3 random between the blue ball or the reflectable. And then his 5th one will be a lightning.
Wonderful. Yep. There's the same amount of blue balls right there. Definitely feeling like they're in trouble at the moment for Dude.
Yeah, I remember this fight, like, as a, as a little kid, I really enjoyed this fight, to be honest. But now, like, I've gotten older and I started, like, speedrunning this game a bit and, like, playing randomizer and stuff. You find out how boring this fight really is. Because as long as you are, like, half conscious during it, it's pretty much impossible to lose. And so it's just a matter of how much time you waste. So yeah, it looks like DududeDude's probably about a minute and a half behind, based on when he finished that Egg and him fight.
Looks like Dude's going straight for the shot hook as well as Lewd checks the bats. Now this is an interesting time to possible pedestal check with the book.
Magic bat, giving him a magic 20 rupees. Yeah, we'll see what Lewd decides to do from here. I'm assuming he's going to pop into that Dark World portal. We might see a Skullwoods and Thieves Down clear, possibly a pedestal check before popping into the portal. There's a lot of options available on this side of the map now. Oh, and there's that cane. I forgot about that good old cane in the library to pick up.
Very good memory on Lewd's part picking that up before anything else, since the cane of Samaria is actually a really fun weapon to use against blind. Dude picking up the infamous shot hook. It looks like we're going to see a shovel check over at the Flute Boys location.
Oh, now Lewd's finally gonna go dig up this item in the grove for another piece of heart. Man, all Eastern Pod has led to so far is pieces of heart.
So they're definitely a route divergence now, as Lewd is continuing around the south side of Hyrule, while Lewd is... Oh, actually I have that backwards. Lewd is on south side, and then Dude is totally going up Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think Dude's making... I don't know. I like Dude's call here to go up Death Mountain. Now that he has that hook shot, again, it's still a sequence break, because the hook shot... Well, okay, the old man isn't a sequence break, and neither is this Spectacle Rock Cave. But once he goes over to East Death Mountain with the hook shot, he will be sequence breaking again, as the hook shot got obtained through the boots.
Just a piece of heart on top of Spectacle Rock Cave. Let's see what's actually inside of it.
It's a red meringue.
Dude, definitely skipping that.
not worth the trouble. The boomerang can have like a little bit of usage, but it's not worth going out of your way to grab. Especially the dirty red one. Blue one's way better. Everybody knows that.
Dude taking the interesting route around. Gonna probably end up at Tower of Hera at the end of this, possibly with a check on what's the magic... Oh wait, we don't have the Titan Smiths yet. We can't actually see what's on top of Turtle Rock just quite yet.
So yeah, actually, both players technically still sequence breaking at this point. The book in the hook shot. Oh, nice! We got a tempered sword in the first chest of desert for Lewd's side. But the hook shot and the book were both obtained through the boots, which required flippers to actually get according to logic.
This scene's getting rather complicated if you factor in the whole sequence break thing, and it's just getting more so by the minute.
Yep. Again, like I said, it's very possible that they could complete the seed without even needing flippers at this point. With Swamp being the remaining pendant, Ice Palace is easy to access with fake flippers.
So the second item in Desert was actually a 50 rupee drop, so combined with the sword upgrade right here, we're still definitely not making sense of the seed at all.
No, but that tempered sword will come in handy. And he can head to the back here and kill the boss for his first crystal. A crazy scene where 45 minutes in, Lude will be getting his first crystal, but completing his third dungeon. It's not often you see players finish 2 pendants for their first 2 dungeons when they have crystals available.
Dude not opting to go into Spiral Cave for that one chest, instead going over to Hera. Now, something of note is something that was from last night in the tournament in the primary. The difference between the runners was getting the tempered versus just having Master Sword on Ganon, so hopefully Dude finds this and evens it up. Checks Ether though.
Yeah, considering where that sword upgrade is in Desert, I have a feeling Dude will find that, at least that sword upgrade. But who knows? We're at a total divergence with both players making different sequence breaks at this point. It could go either way.
Very true. There's now a potential of not having the second item in the basement of Tower of Hera, as the big key is found really quickly.
Yeah, so Dude making his way up Hera, there's 2 items to find here. It's a map and big key for his first 2 item location. As you mentioned, that does leave the possibility of the basement having the second item, which is nothing like a runner never wants to see. I actually, nowadays, I prefer the big key to be down there, because then it's like, I know I have to do it. But if you go up and finish all of Hera, only find 1 item, and realize the second item has to be in the basement, it's like, oh, do I really want to sit through this tile room for what's probably going to be a red rupee? But then if you don't do it, it always ends up being something you need.
That's very true. There's a 20 rupee right there, so it's definitely one of the 2 items up here.
Yeah, and then Moldarm is going to be dropping the small key, so that second item is going to be in the basement. He does have enough options at this point that he could opt to skip it, but it always, as I mentioned earlier, it's always a dangerous prospect to leave an item behind in a dungeon.
Absolutely. Lude looks to be heading up towards Death Mountain as well by the looks of it, or unless we go see a pedestal check, which is what we're all hoping for at this point.
It looks like he's going to head up Death Mountain, following the same sequence break DududeDude did. We'll head over to the east side. Fortunately, Dude didn't find too much of value up here. He found a heart container, he found a bottle with a fairy in it, which could come in handy later. But outside of that, nothing that really helps in terms of progression. He picks up his first crystal. Lude escorts the old man home. When Lude does get up to Hera, he'll have a slightly faster and easier time with that tempered sword killing Moldarm. Potentially doing it in a spin slash and a normal slash versus 3 spins from DududeDude. But in the grand scheme of things, that'll be a very minor optimization.
So Dude opting to go into the basement and get ready to possibly have a coffee break right here. Nope, misses the glitch. Lude choosing not to grab the red meringue out of there.
As you mentioned, a lot of players try to set up a little 30-second break here with a glitch by activating those blue pegs while standing on top of them and getting iframes for this whole room. But then, so instead, Dude is actually opting to take a bunch of those tiles to the face so he can set up for a death warp here, because he doesn't have the mirror. And it's kind of slow to get out of here otherwise. It's the Titan's mitts!
Oh no, that's so unfortunate.
Oh, I forgot he has a fairy. So did he, apparently. He picked that up on the East Death Mountain in the cave that Lude is approaching.
Decides to just leave the normal way instead. We're forgetting that you have to reactivate the switch to go back upstairs.
Yeah, that's why the Death Warp is so nice if you don't have the mirror. Because you have to... It's just kind of slow to walk out, because you have to hit, like, 3 switches on your way. So yeah, that's unfortunate. That was a waste of the fairy, but he did find those mitts, which means, and that's a good place for them, because that means he can go over and check the Dark World Death Mountain over here. So he'll probably pop down the spiral cave he left to check after Hera. Saves a trip if you do it after Hera, and then you can pop over into the Dark World, check some more item locations, and find out what the medallion for Turtle Rock is going to be.
Chat pointing out 50% of death warps are ruined by fairies.
I mean, that's just science. They did studies.
There's the fire shield in Spiral Cave. That's actually not a bad thing to find. Dude actually choosing to go up and just grab these 2 Super Bunny Cave chests, which you can actually access if you don't have the Moon Pearl. Very interesting news.
True, if you have access to East Death Mountain, and you have the Titan's Mitts to get to the Dark World over here. The act of falling down one of these pits that DududeDude's about to fall down to access these chests, the way of entering that screen is kind of not really programmed for being a bunny. So it kind of just lets you do normal Link things like opening chests.
Just an arrow upgrade and bombs out of that, nothing special, but definitely gonna probably check Turtle Rock right now too, and possibly Hookshot Cave.
And there's that Quake they've had in their pocket since the beginning of the game, essentially.
Vanilla Quake, one less worry out of their minds.
Finding a bit more health here in Hookshot Cave. As mentioned, always a welcome sight when you're still rocking that green mail. Nothing else really to speak of in there. So where do you think DududeDude heads next?
I think it's time for a dude to possibly head over to Desert, but looks like the play going over to grab the King of Samaria is probably the play here.
Yeah, I believe he saw this cane to grab and possibly the shovel location to check. Yeah, he hasn't done this yet for the piece of heart here.
So both runners keeping this very close, overlapping each other's choices for item location checks. Only difference really is Lewd's already been through Desert.
Yeah, Lewd just picked up his second crystal from Tower of Hera there. If Dude heads down and does Desert, they'll be tied up. So it is pretty close. It's mostly coming down to that unfortunate death Dude took on Helmasaur King about 20 minutes ago or so.
Dude picking up the King of Samaria, also executing the sword dash, which he used with the hook shot in order to very quickly go across that map. Looks like the call is to go into Village of Outcasts.
Yep, I think this makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I'm surprised that both players decided to diverge from the logic as much as they have. When they have access to Skullwoods and Thieves Town over here that are fully completable, and with the 5 and 6 crystals, we could easily see something required at the Pyramid Fairy. And there's Lewd picking up his Titan's Mitts in Tower of Hera basement. He was ready to save and quit afterwards. But then he saw the Titan's Mitts and he was like, wait, I can do things with these. He decides to run out of Hera.
Very smart call on Lewd's part, not giving up and having to climb all the way back up again just to go to each side.
That's a very good point, Bulgin. He could be going to Turtle Rock. With the fire, like, he has everything to do Turtle Rock, which DududeDude didn't when he was up there because he hadn't picked up his cane yet. That'd be a very interesting, very smart play from Lewd. Turtle Rock often having something of value. If you're able to do it and you aren't in go mode, it tends to have something.
So, Dude making very excellent map knowledge, and actually remembering there is a full magic restore there and a fairy underneath that skull when you actually use the powder on the bunny beam.
Yeah, that full magic next to that vanilla big key room that you have to bomb to can be very useful. Especially when you don't have half magic and you're kind of rocking like a master sword or something, or a fighter's sword. Getting that full magic refill can be very useful to help you get to Mothula and then use some fire rod shots on him.
Lewd successfully performing the hookshot clip to not have to worry about climbing up an additional set of staircase, going down to the Super Bunny, and getting disappointed in the process.
And on Dude's side, you got another powdering that bunny beam to get another health refill before the boss. He'll be dropping into the Mothula fight, looking to get his second crystal.
Now, only a few fire rod shots left. Master Sword spins and no safeties. This might be an interesting fight.
He's racked up some good damage pretty quickly here, and he hasn't gotten hit yet. It's a really good Mothula fight on Dude's side. Another slash or two and he'll be down. There it is.
Very nice work. And what do we have on Mothula? It's just the bowl of nachos, so we're probably going to see the rest of the chest getting checked in Skullwoods, or possibly a pedestal check and then coming back.
And then Lewd heading over to Turtle Rock, seeing Quake was the medallion. Opening up that pause menu, because he wants to go inside, but he doesn't have the mirror yet, so he was forced to save and quit.
Now this chest on Dude's side, you probably want the mirror when you go and actually get this one, because you can easily get back, but having to take the long way is going to cost a couple of seconds.
Yeah, and then getting a small key out of it is quite the disappointment. It's a pretty inconvenient chest to grab, as you mentioned, without the mirror. And unless you're already low on health, it's kind of hard to set up a very optimal death warp on your way to it, so you kind of just have to eat the time by walking back.
So the pedestal check still eludes us. Dude heading over to the right side of Skullwoods. Still needing both items out of here though, so let's see what they are really quick.
Yeah, kind of like DududeDude's Skullwoods routing here. Kind of doing a... Well, there's the flute. That's actually huge.
Considering the placement of it, you couldn't be more right on the nose right there. Just a 20 rupee for the second item. Dude can safely leave and just completely forget about Skullwoods now.
And he's gonna save and quit because he got that flute. He wants to go activate it. But yeah, kind of until the items end up being where they were, and what they were. I thought that Skullwoods routing was interesting because you didn't have like the mirror or anything, So kind of going backwards, because I'm sure his initial plan until he found that flute was to kind of just walk down and do Thieves Sound afterwards. So by doing it backwards, if you found the items in the back half, you could have skipped checking the front half.
Lude has all the items needed to complete Turtle Rock, decides to step in there and go ahead and go through it. This is probably a good idea to get it out of the way now.
Yeah, it's gonna be... I don't know. Finding that flute in Skullwoods is actually a kind of a bad sign for Lude. There's still the mirror in play, but that might not be required. So the mirror and flippers are both missing in action. But either player can choose to fake flipper to Ice Palace. So the reason this flute was so big is that Dude can go over here and find out what the medallion for Meyer is. And if it also happens to be Quake, he's kind of he'll be in go mode.
Couple keys on that side of Turtle Rock right there, as Dude's gonna go ahead and check the Meyer shed.
And it's Quake! Oh my god! So, Dude doesn't need anything else. With a fake flipper to Ice Palace, they don't need the flippers, they don't need the mirror, because Swamp is a pendant.
Is that what time we think it is? Chat looks like they're calling for it. We might be in go mode right here at 1 hour and 59 seconds.
That's gonna hurt for Lude. Ooh, and then he takes a test to change arms. I think he still has his fairy in the bottle, though. Yeah, there it is. So the fortunate thing for Lude is that Turtle Rock isn't going to be that much slower for him. There's a Bombos. Turtle Rock isn't that much faster when you're in go mode. When Dude makes his way up to Turtle Rock, he'll save a little bit of time by possibly not having to check every Laser Bridge chest and skipping out on Mimic Cave. So he'll save a little bit of time here and there. But the big thing that really costs the loot is how much time he invested just to get into Turtle Rock. He took that lower portal on Death Mountain. So when he went up and saw that Turtle Rock was open to him because it was Quake, he had to save and quit and make his way back up. And with Turtle Rock not holding anything that's required, really it wasn't worth the wasted time.
Dude, definitely finding the big key, going ahead and skipping the other two items that are actually in Meyer, because all you basically need right now is to hope for a sword upgrade somewhere, which we know where one of them is.
I was just about to bring that up, how earlier you mentioned the race last night that was decided between a sword upgrade, and I said that considering where that sword upgrade was, I didn't think Dude would miss it unless he got into go mode, which he is, so there is a chance he misses that chest, but considering where it is, going into desert, it's generally the first place you're going to check, so there's a good chance he'll find that tempered sword, unless he opts to head straight to the torch room for some reason.
And we're gonna go ahead and get a big key chest, which is just 20 rupees right there for Lude. This isn't looking good.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot that... Oh yeah, I forgot he doesn't have mirror, so he's not going to waste that time checking Mimic Cave, at least. Yeah, there's not a whole lot he's going to find in here that's going to be of much value. Possibly like a mail upgrade, maybe that 4th sword upgrade.
Silver Arrow strats on Vitreous, making very short work of the cluster of eyes right there. Just 2 shots there, and we definitely finished with this dungeon.
Yeah, Go Mode Meyer is a beautiful thing. Especially when you find an early big key like Dude did. He's able to just rush through it. Silver arrows on Vitreous. Easy peasy. So we'll see a save and quit on his side. And yeah, he's in go mode, so he just has to kind of make his way around the map and clear out dungeons whatever order he pleases.
See where the first decision is.
Imagine he's gonna go do desert, yeah. Which is a good call. If he picks up that tempered sword, that'll make things a little bit easier, particularly when he gets to ice. And then when he gets back up to Turtle Rock.
Lewd having a little bit of not being a best friend.
Well, having a little bit of trouble with that laser skip. It's a pretty tricky thing to get right. Kind of, in my opinion, the easiest way to do it is to get far enough above the eye so it's not shooting its lasers at all, and then walk down just low enough and immediately dash in the direction you need to. If you do it just perfectly, you'll just perfectly dash through the first laser and make it to the chest.
So, dude, fortunately, fighting the bacon sword there is on equal footing, but is way ahead at this point, especially with Death Warp having to set up with us another few seconds.
Yeah, not to mention, yeah, this Turtle Rock play on Lewd's part wasn't necessarily like the wrong. Well, okay, it was the wrong play. It wasn't necessarily a bad play from his perspective. It just ended up being the wrong one. Ended up eating up a lot of time just to get back into Turtle Rock. It doesn't hold anything of value. And when DududeDude heads up there, he'll be able to make it his last crystal and head straight over to Ganon's Tower, whereas Lewd will have to make an additional trip up Death Mountain to get to Ganon's Tower.
Dude actually doesn't need anything.
Yeah, Dude is technically well, according to the logic, he would still need flippers because Ice Palace is required, but with Swamp Palace being a pendant, he doesn't need flippers or mirror. Because he can just fake flipper to Ice Palace, and so he's going through, he's got to clear up Desert here, he's got to clear up Thieves Town, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock. Which is a lot of dungeons to be able to do in Go mode.
Lewd actually making really good work of the Trinex fight, which can be pretty tricky for a lot of people. Finding the ether.
So Turtle Rock had 2 medallions. If only one of those were required for Myers, could have been a really good play for Lewd. Unfortunately, luck wasn't on his side.
Let's see what strategy Dude uses on Lambo 1. Silvers are definitely the quickest strat for a lot of people, but actually with Bacon Sword, that's not a hard boss to complete either.
Yeah, he's going to switch over to Silvers. Silver arrows, one-shotting any enemy that is affected by, that's damaged by normal arrows, aside from Vitreous and Ganon. Also utilizing some spin slashes, maybe that might have just been, and normal slashes. It does good damage to land though, so a few slashes will take out one of these worms.
Luna's having a little difficulty there with Spike Key. Where are we going to find the blue mail for the trouble? That's not a bad drop. Heading back to Sanctuary as Dude is going to go ahead and spin slash the rest of Lambo. I don't blame them after having a little bit of difficulty with the silver arrow strats.
Yeah, hitting the Lambos with the arrows can be a little bit tricky. You have to hit them pretty much just as they initially pop out of the hole. And mistiming it is kind of costly too, because the 3 boss sprites, up to 3 boss sprites, and that sparkling silver arrow sprite, it gets a bit laggy, which also throws your timing off.
It's one of the things I have to practice still myself, so I know exactly what that pain is. like the call is to make even quicker work of Thieves Town now that we have go mode and no reason to go check Pyramid Fairy.
Yep, now we have Lude making his way into Thieves Town. He's gonna do the same writing that dude did. He's gonna start at the back, work his way forward. So he'll get his crystal off Mothula and eventually find that flute. And I imagine he'll follow in Dude's footsteps and head to like save and quit and head to Meyer after he finds that flute. Find out he's in go mode. I think Lude's gonna be a bit behind at that point, but not an insurmountable lead on Dude's side. So this could be a race.
Definitely the exciting thing. Dude actually skipping one of the chests on left side turns out to pay off because the big key was on the right side instead. Finds the other male upgrades, so now they're definitely equal on defense.
Yeah, that's a nice little bonus. Definitely not required, but only 10 hearts is not a super healthy seed, so that little bit extra defense can be quite nice, especially going into Ice Palace and Turtle Rock for Dude, where enemies tend to do noticeably more damage.
Absolutely. Lude having to use the sideways shot to get two at once since there is no lamp. And wait, there was a lamp. That was the beginning. Just to make sure they conserve magic, though.
Ooh, ouch. That's gonna eat up a minute on Lude's side there. Got knocked into the hand and brought back to the beginning of the dungeon. The most unfortunate part of this is how low his magic is right now. Well, he does still have that green potion, I believe, if he wanted to use that he got way back at the beginning of this seed by throwing it into the waterfall fairy fountain.
Beautiful hook shot strats to take care of that pit room, though.
Yeah, that was smart. I actually hadn't seen someone do that. The corner pots in those rooms have hearts and like small magic pickups in them. So using that hook shot around and pick them up real quick helps give him the magic he needs to light these torches here.
The knowledge of having all those pot locations and what's inside of them paying off big time right here, saving a huge bit of magic, and I have about half of it for Mothula. For a bacon sword on Mothula, though, it's not too bad of a fight.
Yeah, especially if you can get the dash strat at the start here for the quick double.
Dude, not even worrying about what's in the chest for Blind Self. Just heading straight and taking her straight upstairs to the room.
Alright, I don't think Lude got the double hit at the beginning, but either way, a couple fire rod shots and a few slashes takes out Moth, and Lude picking up his fourth crystal. So he's got Thieves Town, Ice Palace, and Meyer left to clear. While Dude's middle of his blind fight, he'll be picking up his fourth crystal with Ice Palace or his fifth crystal even, with Ice Palace and Turtle Rock left to clear.
Just a heart piece for the trouble, but getting it out of the way is better than not worrying about it later. Lude heading back towards the entrance the long way, same that we didn't have the mirror for either of these runners.
Yeah, considering that Swamp House is at that third pendant, mirror could easily be again sour. Very good chance we might not even see it. So Lude, unfortunately, yeah, taking a long way to get that small key. He's gonna work his way back to the main meat of Skullwoods, checking the last of the chests. With 2 items left, we'll find that flute. Kind of clearing. Both players did this routing, which I think is interesting. They both opted to kind of clear this backward, with the plan of going to Thieves Town afterwards. But I imagine Lude will kind of do the same thing Dude did, find that flute and save and quit instead of heading to Thieves Town.
Making the unfortunate decision to open up the big key chest, not finding that other item just quite yet.
Yeah, he's gonna lose out on a little bit of time here compared to Dude's clear, because he's checking the 2 wrong chests. There's 4 chests left, 2 of them had items, and Dude checked the correct 2, and Lude did not. Meanwhile, Dude is making his way through Ice Palace, another beautiful Go Mode dungeon. And there's that flute on Lude's side.
So Dude at the very beginning with the save and quit did a very good strategy for anybody to use. As opposed to Sanctuary, when you go into the mountain cave and refill your life that way by starting off, you actually save a few seconds of walking out of Sanctuary if you have access to it. Very good knowledge of their game.
Yeah, the mountain cave, once you have the flute, it's generally the best place to start. Because you can get that easy health refill, and it's the fastest to walk out of. So Lude, not opting to save and quit after finding that flute like Dude did. He's just going to head over and do Thieves Town. Which is not really a big deal either, because Thieves Town isn't that much slower to full clear compared to Go Mode. Be able to skip out on a couple chests like Dude did. But I can... Ooh, and he's picked up that half magic that Dude skipped.
That may be a little bit of a factor later on.
Yeah, probably not going to be particularly helpful, but it could have been nice for Dude on his way into Turtle Rock and Ice Palace here.
The favorite room of the dungeon is actually the Penguin Slide room, which is completed in just 1 spin.
So Lude getting that big key. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm moron. I didn't even think that Lude knows that he's in Go Mode because he has all the medallions, so he doesn't need to go check Meyer like Dude did. So that's why he got that big key, and then he skipped out that last small chest knowing that he's not going to need it, which actually contained a mail upgrade.
Dude going straight down into the Cold Stare fight, which is one of the more fun ones if you don't have half magic.
Yeah, this is where that half magic could have come in handy, because Dude doesn't have the bombo, so he's gonna have to deplete all of his magic to break this cold storage. Words are hard. Cold Stare's shell here.
Making sure to take the intentional delay to make sure you don't get the shot interrupted and potentially miss it, otherwise you'd have to waste an entire potion just to refill. Bacon Sword Cold Stare, really quick fight though. Dude showing off that amazing technical prowess.
Yep, he got that spin slash to get him in the corner there and bully them for a bunch of damage real quick. And then pretty quick fight after that.
And as you can see, folks, Go Mode Ice Palace is quite nice, Kappa.
Yep, and now we have Dude saving and quitting, popping up to that mountain cave, getting a health refill, and he's gonna head over and do Turtle Rock.
And as you were saying before, Go Mode Turtle Rock isn't too different from just full clearing it.
Yeah, especially given the key layout in this particular setup. With the last small key being in the laser bridge. Sometimes you can get your small keys early and not have to check anything on the laser bridge. That can save a bit of time. But there's a small key on the laser bridge, so DududeDude will end up having to do a few laser skips as well. Leaving Lude with a Go Mode Ice Palace and Meyer to Dude's Turtle Rock. Dude will also have to make another trip of Death Mountain. So I think Dude has a small lead here. But the Mire Big Key was super early on, so that will be a quick go mode. Ice Palace we've already seen as a quick go mode. So this could be a tight race. It could come down to G-Tower routing.
Considering how this pretty much entire seed was a bunch of sequence breaks, it's really interesting to see that we got go mode out of that.
Yeah, like I said, we never saw the flippers. They're probably like Hype Cave or some Dark World overworld location, like Village of Outcasts or something that neither player checked.
Lewd heading over to activate the lovely Swag Duck. Oh, Swag a Duck, our lovely native bird. As Dude goes ahead and goes into the torch shot room, which with the hook shot is quite easy to get completed. Lewd potentially checking Mire's shed right here too and going inside. Having all three medallions, no worries about even stopping to check what it is. Actually choosing just to go straight in.
Yeah, so we got Dude making his way over to the chain shop room as Lewd enters Mire.
Sadly, no bird toss from Lewd.
Unfortunately, you can't get a true bird toss without the ether medallion.
But Lewd has it.
That's a fair point. Dude didn't have that. I forgot. He's gonna find it soon though. He's gonna find the two useless medallions here in Turtle Rock.
That big bombos that will probably never be used. This is going to be close. Lewd still has to go complete Ice Palace, but being in go mode, as we just saw, Ice Palace is an extremely short dungeon.
Yeah, I say Dude's probably had a minute or two here, a couple minutes, actually. About halfway through Turtle Rock already. And then, yeah, it's gonna be probably maybe even like 3 or 4 minutes because we'd have to make that additional trip up Death Mountain. It really came down to Dude having everything he needed to do Turtle Rock after Hera. Well, Dude didn't have that cane yet. Lewd kind of wasted a lot of time making his way back up to Turtle Rock and clearing it early for nothing. Nothing of value, at least.
Dude heading back towards the other part of the shoot room to go ahead and head into the south side. Doesn't have to worry about grabbing anything else. Neither of these runners chat definitely care where flippers are at this point.
Yeah. Definitely required by logic. Again, Arno missed the beginning of the seed. Both players opted to fake flipper with the Moon Pearl so they could check the waterfall fairy early, finding both Boots and Bow back there, which themselves led to the cane, the hook shot, and the book, and the book was required to get into desert. So flippers locked pretty much the whole seed. They were kind of like the key to opening up everything, and both players managed to bypass them without ever even finding them. With the fake flippers
I know it's impossible to see, but just for the laughs, it would be funny if it was the first chest in GT. Lude heading straight back up to Mountain Cave. Definitely the smart play here, getting the Ice Palace play on. Chooses to go and make a shopping trip instead.
Wasting a little bit of magic, use that green potion and buy up a blue potion. That could be a smart play. It's better safe than sorry. Costs a little bit of time to pick up one of these potions, but generally costs a lot more time if you take an unfortunate death.
Leaving nothing to chance with a troll cold stare fight, having multiple blue potions at this point.
I'm really curious what's going through either runner's head right now. I feel like they probably both think they're ahead. At least I know if I were one of them, I wouldn't assume, because they did pretty much the exact same route for the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the seed. Doing that early fake flippers to find the boot and bow early, and then both doing pendant eastern and then green pendant pod. It wouldn't be any stretch to think that Lude thinks he's ahead. That dude thinks so as well.
What an interesting result we're going to find out when they come back and watch this, though. Dude also making very short work of Trinex. Very good fights here.
So there's that Ether consolation prize and that crystal that he's looking for. Crystal number 7. So he's about a half of Ice Palace ahead of Lude. And a trip up Death Mountain. So that's gonna be a couple minutes there. And we see chat already guessing what chest. Again, it's our big key is gonna be in. What do you think, Lyra?
I always go with either 14 or 15, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with 15 this run.
I'm gonna be a jerk and I'm gonna say 22.
Nice. So with our powers combined, we can open Ganon's tower. We are Captain Planet.
Right around the 127.30 mark for Dude. Starting G Tower. Just shaping up to be a pretty quick seed. Especially considering they did 2 pendant dungeons. It just goes to show, like, how much faster things can go when you're able to go mode, like, how many crystal dungeons? Like 4 or 5?
At this stage of the tournament, though, both of them showing they deserve to be here, but only one of them is going to advance. We could get a game 3 out of this, which is what Dude is definitely hoping for at this point.
Yeah, it's looking very likely. This is Dude's game to lose at this point. So he has a fairly substantial lead for this stage of the race. A good couple, 2 to 3 minutes.
Dude showing off those bombos to Fire Rod quick strats. Going to make very short work of this fight, especially with half magic. Ooh.
And there's an early big key too. That's bad for Lude. So, like I said, this is definitely Dude's game to lose, barring some kind of tragedy against Ganon. He is definitely favored to win at this point.
Look,
and that was
found chest number 5 or 6.
It was number 6. So yeah, it was the third chest in that 4 chest room. The 2 on the right side, and then the torch item. Made it number 6.
Interesting enough, seeing the backwards strat since there still is no mirror. That's quite interesting to see that. I don't think I've ever seen it, honestly.
Yeah, you don't see that very often. It's rare to not have the mirror at this point in the game. Poor Lude, always getting dead rock blocked.
Or as I call the infamous squirrel lock.
So they're the most like annoying enemies in this game, in almost any game ever, probably.
Dude getting ready to start the gauntlet.
It feels bad just like sitting there because like you can't do anything other than what we did, which is just sit there and wait and just mull over what brought you there.
It's a good 5 or so seconds while you're dodging the infamous pop rocks that pop you in the mouth. If you drink soda, they happen to explode. Dude wisely choosing to use the refill room to their advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have that health refill. Make sure you have full magic, especially without the half magic that you missed out on in Thieves Town. Having the full magic for all the torch lighting coming up is nice.
Dude getting a little bit trolled by that first room. Gonna go ahead and make quick destruction of the second room.
Yeah, Lude about to enter Ganon's Tower, about 3.5 minutes behind Dude here. Which is not that far behind for an 1.5-hour race. But at this point, as I mentioned, it's Dude's race to lose. Barring some kind of tragedy, Lude is probably going to have to take this to a game 3.
Dude with a frustration bonk into land mode 2's door makes 2 shots of it almost to 1 cycle. Gets the 2 cycle instead, heads upstairs, doesn't take any of the refills, don't really need them too much.
Seen a lot of full magic refills drop on Dude's side, actually.
Very quick work of the Samaria block Wizrobes, as Lude has definitely just found that big key and is trying to clear those way back. Only difference between a couple minutes at this point is the half magic.
Yeah, and unfortunately that's not... Even with that cape that Lude has, it's probably not going to be enough to make the difference here. Dude, carefully calculating out that magic. Just enough to use the lantern to light those last 2 torches.
That was 100% beautiful, honestly. Since you do get a magic refill in this room coming up right here, so... Flawless execution.
Nice, we got a little fake powder usage to hit that anti-fairy and bunny beam. Using a little glitch where if you don't have enough magic to use the cane, try to use it, and right when it makes that like bwomp bwomp, like can't use this noise, you switch over to either the mushroom or magic powder in your inventory and mash the item button. You can use the powder with no magic. Gives him a nice little health refill before getting to Moldarm 2, which he made quick work of, and now he's working his way up to Aghanim 2.
This room I refer to as the infamous cat on a treadmill room due to the fact you can just get completely bounced around in it. It's a total mess.
Yeah, that room can be really, really frustrating and annoying if you bump into those bumpers and get knocked around by those Sonosaurs. It's fun but also annoying at the same time.
Dude getting some interesting patterns, having a little bit of difficulty with trying to get doubles out of him, but it's still really strong. Gets the last hit on Agnum 2, heading straight to Ganon at 134.39. Here we go, all the resources needed to finish the game. Let's go ahead and get this seed over and done with, and what's on Dude's mind. Lude having a little bit of difficulty with those silver arrow strats too. Definitely one of the harder things to accomplish, I believe. Again, we already mentioned the accuracy and the lag and the delay.
Yeah, and it's actually surprising how that little Medusa head in the corner can throw things off. Because the first fireball is just timed like so perfectly right before they spawn. You have to kind of move like right after it shoots and then line up immediately. Dude making quick work of the first two phases of Ganon.
The excellent corner placement for the phase 2, making incredibly fast work of that.
Yeah, you got the nice, that very nice placement in the corner there. Allowing him to line up between the wall and Ganon. Just do some quick spin slashes for that gold sword damage. And take out that second phase in one cycle. There's one more hit. Gonna be moving on to the last phase and with silver arrows. Should be all she wrote.
We certainly did find them, Ganon. Thank you for letting us know where they weren't. Interesting thing of note for the phase 3 of Ganon. I have once been teleport trolled 19 times, so I don't know what the max RNG is on that, but Dude doesn't care, making very fast work of it. And official .done in the chat. Dude has finished in first place with a time of 1:36.54. Congratulations.
Yep, a very solid time. We got Lude finishing up his Moldorm 2. So he's only a couple of minutes behind. Definitely a close race, all things considered. A very interesting seed. Again, Flipper's kind of locking everything, or a vast majority of the seed, according to logic, and both players choosing some somewhat peculiar routing early on, and kind of doing the same thing for the first 30 to 40 minutes, and bypassing them altogether.
Hey, congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. So, what are your thoughts on that seed?
That was a low percent seed if I ever saw one. Well, I guess not low percent actually, but I don't know. It was a weird seed. I wonder what the hell those flippers were.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I've been talking about like where these flippers have been for like the past hour. That was definitely interesting. Both of you kind of did the same thing for the first like 30 to 40 minutes, which was a really interesting race to watch. Both of you opting to do the fake flippers, get the boots and bow early, and then both of you went to Eastern and then pod right afterwards.
Makes a bit sense to me.
Yeah. So how were you feeling as you were entering Ganon's Tower? Did you have a feeling you were ahead? Did you think you were behind? What was going through your head?
There were just two possibilities going to my head. Either I was massively ahead because LewdDolphin opted to check the actual western part of the Dark World first, or we were on pretty equal poise because he made the exact same decisions I did. And from what I can gather, especially now I've tuned into the stream, I think he made pretty much the same decisions I did. Yeah,
you guys, like I said, the first 30 to 40 minutes, all the way up through pod, where you guys did pretty much the exact same things. Like, you're just basically holding hands for the first 30 to 40 minutes of the seed. And then he pulled ahead a little bit because he had that unfortunate death against Helmasaur. which you opted to head back in and finish them off, which unfortunately didn't lead to anything. You got like 2 heart pieces.
That wasn't. Yeah, that wasn't worth it.
And then you guys had a little bit of divergence there. Let's see, Lude went to Desert and you went up to like Hera. And that's kind of where the big difference, it came down to the fact that Lude picked up the cane in the library before he went up to Hera.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time he went up there, he had everything he needed to do Turtle Rock.
Yeah, for me it just...
You wasted quite a bit of time, like, saving and quitting and going back up there.
Mm-hmm.
So you got that. You made a decision to head back to Skullwoods and got into go mode first.
Just to pop in, Ludus finished in second with 140.02. Congratulations.
Yeah, just noticed. Good game. I'm glad it's a close finish again.
Yeah, it was a really fun race to watch and commentate on. Hey, Lude.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the Triples crew.
Thanks
man.
for finishing that seed, and congrats on that was a close race. What were your thoughts on the seed?
Well, I was excited to have routed out flippers entirely. And I thought that if Dude didn't do the fake flippers and get the bow and the boots as early as I did, that I had a massive edge. But certain gambles I made didn't pay off immediately, and I kept forgetting that I don't have the mirror, so I can't go to TR as easily as I wanted to. But it was exciting. I had fun, and I didn't actually see that he won. I minimized the IRC because I was pretty nervous.
Yeah, that can be a good call. It's especially as you get to like Ganon Tower and stuff. Like, you don't want to be glancing over at that IRC every like 5 seconds, like wondering if your opponent is finished or not.
I don't blame you for that at all. So the biggest difference in the run is when Lude decided to go up to Turtle Rock first. Want to tell us more about what you're thinking at that point?
I always go to Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock always has the answers, except this time, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned this. I don't think you made a bad call. It just was the wrong call, unfortunately, as can happen. It's just randomizer.
I just needed that flute.
Yeah, even for me, I could go modes, well, sort of go mode T-Rock, but the only thing that meant is that I skipped 2 chests on the Laser Bridge, which isn't really a go mode now, isn't it?
Yeah, so...
I just noticed you have the cape. Well, what was that cape?
It was in the laser hallway.
Yeah, it was, I think it was the second one down. It was after picking up the key, I think.
Yeah, TR had both medallions, and I thought, well, now I don't have to worry about Meyer. I just have to worry about that flute. And unfortunately, it didn't help. But if it had, that would have been a massive edge, I'm sure.
Yeah, I pointed that out too. If Meyer happened to be Ether or Bombos, you probably would have won the seed, to be honest, because you got those 2 in Turtle Rock. But unfortunately, it was Quake for both of them. Yeah,
I opted to immediately, like, as soon as I found the flute, I just knew I had to immediately go check what Maya was to see whether I was in go mode or not, and it turned out I wasn't go mode.
Nice. I was surprised to get the mitts from Hera Basement. I wasn't expecting that.
They
quit. And I'm like, oh!
You brought up the save and quit menu, and I like pointed that out. He was like, oh! He almost saved and quit, but he realized he can do things with those.
There's Dark Death Mountain now, and I could probably enter TR. Which...
Yeah, I agree. The Turtle Rock play is generally a good one. Like, if you have everything to do it and you aren't in go mode, like you said, it tends to have the answers, but unfortunately, this was an exception. But again, it was still a very close race, and I believe you two have Game 3 scheduled for tomorrow?
Yeah,
yep,
same
time.
Hopefully same place.
Hopefully same channel, yeah.
Hopefully there's a channel. Did we ever figure out where the flippers were?
I don't think so.
No.
No, we have no idea. I mean, a lot of you guys kind of skipped a lot of the same locations. Like,
Okay.
All of those Dark World locations. You both
Yeah,
skipped,
I
like, the
basically skipped all of
Path.
Dark World except for Death Mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you both
I
did
ended
that.
up with. Yep.
I think a real possibility, and probably the most interesting one, would be the Pyramid Fairy, because Crystals 5 and 6 were Thieves Town and Skull Woods, which were open to both of you very early on. Like, you guys could have gotten Crystals 5 and 6 like immediately once you got Dark World access.
I was very tempted to go do that. I don't know why. Oh, because at the time I had Green Mail, 6 hearts, and I didn't want to go and do Skullwood, so I thought that's actually most of why I went into pod early, was hoping I could get hearts.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out the nice menu time on your side there, dude.
What was it? I wasn't even paying attention.
It was 3 minutes flat, and like 3 minutes and like half a second.
That's pretty good.
Nice.
Just missed the sub 3.
Just missed the sub 3, but it's still a good many times.
It's okay.
regardless.
I already had a race before. I already had a race before with a 2:30 menu time, so I've already got the sub 3 done. Also, his chat wants you guys to ask us about the TT difference or something.
Oh, right. There's so C-Sound was a little bit interesting. You were both technically in go mode when you went there, because Dude had done Meyer first, because he only had Quake. So he had to go check Meyer to see if he could get in. He did. He finished that. Since on your side, Lead, you had all 3 medallions, you didn't have to go do that check. Dude opted to skip a chest in Thieves Town. You skipped the second one that you typically pick up, which had half magic in it.
Oh,
Why?
that's the second. That's the second race where I easily missed half magic. That's also kind of funny.
It was kind of a curious chest to skip, because if that happened to be the big key, you'd have had to backtrack quite a bit.
Yeah, no, I realized when I was running to the right that I actually skipped that chest, but I figured it wasn't worth doubling back for it. If like I'd either have to go back if it was the big key, but if it wasn't the big key, then I would have just wasted time. So I just continued on.
Yeah, I mean, once you skip it, you might as well just hope that it doesn't matter. Which it didn't, in the grand scheme of things, it was just half magic. But then, so you picked up the big key and you jumped down and then checked that other little chest over there after finding a big key, and you got a mail upgrade. Whereas Lewd did the opposite. He picked up the half magic, grabbed the big key, and then skipped that little chest.
Yeah, so he also picked up. What's the other mail upgrade also on the laser bridges or something?
I think the funny thing was you both found the mail upgrade, the other didn't.
I don't remember where my blue mail was. Oh, it was in Spike Cave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I never bothered doing Spike Cave. I didn't have the cape, of course, which I guess you did. So.
Unfortunately, I did not have a 3.5-second menu time, but I did have 3:21, which I'm actually happy with.
Very
That's
good.
pretty good too. And you had significantly less bongs than I did, so I think I built up a bit of extra. I built up a couple extra ones during AGA 1.
Well, I mean, what else are you
I
gonna
don't
do
like
for half
wasting
the fight?
bonks like that. I gotta have an accurate bonk count at the end.
Chat curious to see if they can potentially show off where the flippers could have been by checking a few more locations. I'm not sure if we have time for that or not.
I mean, I've got to reset my emulator and try and check Hype Cave real quick. Maybe it's there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. I don't need to know. Did you find the
Well, at
mirror
least
at least?
No.
Okay.
I
I got
not
the
the big
mirror.
key.
Mirror.
Like, it's so rare for me to
that's
not
the
have
downside.
mirror and GT that I got the big key. I'm like, all right, time to go. Oh, I don't have the mirror. Okay, have to
Yeah, that was
backtrack
slightly-
somehow.
Yeah, that was
And it's-
slightly awkward. Oh,
Yeah, I was
goddammit,
gonna say it's
that's
an
wrong.
awkward room to have to like clear, just to walk back to the entrance.
I imagine having to go back there without the boots.
But yeah, thank you so much for the race. So yeah, please give these runners a follow, DududeDude and LewdDolphin. There's links to their Twitch channels in chat there. Thank you to both the runners for letting us restream this race for our entertainment.
Right,
And,
that's not Spike
again-
Cave.
Thanks to Zertinol for the restream and Michael Volt for tracking for us. And one last good games to both of you. Do we have any final thoughts on the seed or the race?
I had fun.
Yeah, this was a very fun seed. It was a significant improvement over previous race.
He would say that because he lost
miserable.
the last one by 6 minutes.
Nah, it's not even that. It was just such a miserable seed.
It was a miserable seed. But this one at least had like some fast items, easy boots, easy bow, nice sequence breaking, and apparently a good race that I can't wait to see the restream of. So hopefully
I can't wait for you guys to watch it too.
Hopefully the commentary was great. Hopefully the chat had some fun things for me to look forward to reading. And I look forward to racing you tomorrow, dude.
Yep, it should be fun.
See, the thing I love about your name is that I can call you dude and it's your name, and it's also like, chill out, dude.
Yeah, it's perfect. Saves everybody a lot of trouble. This old Stumpy half, he likes having the flippers, in my opinion.
It's a big negative on Hive Cave. Well, I know that tomorrow I'm looking forward to hopefully doing your guys' Game 3. I was hoping for a Game 3 only because the chat loves Game 3s and more rando, but I hope you both win tomorrow.
Hey, I was definitely hoping for a Game 3 this time. I don't think Lewd was, but I definitely was.
As a, supporter of the tournament, I'm all hyped for Game 3s, as long as I win. Nah, I mean, at this point, we're, like, very well matched. I'm pretty hyped for the Game 3, because if I lose, it's fine, because I lost to a great opponent. If I win, it's great, because I won. It's a win-win. Well, win-lose, but win-win.
Yeah, it would definitely be one to look forward to.
Right.
To reiterate, that will be tomorrow at the same time as today. So that's 5 Eastern time.
People thinking catfish now. It would probably end up being somewhere that didn't have any item restrictions behind it at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty likely.
And you both did end up checking most of them, so...
Let's see. Let's do weird, silly route to catfish since people want to see catfish. And under a question in chat, one should have been behind the pod sword because the other one was in desert, and I don't know, maybe.
Oh yeah, Ega 1 required two swords since Cape was in Turtle Rock. So,
And since Mirror was completely never found, it wouldn't be King's Tomb either. We also know that the pedestal was just Cash Cash.
Honestly waiting to see the chat reaction to how I just went to catfish.
So, confirmation, yeah, you have some time. Let's see if we can find these flippers. Beautiful water walk there.
It's one of my favorite little tricks. Can't be the Pyramid Fairy, I think. Should have checked the rest of the village without the cast, really. Let's see if we quit.
Yeah, you do have 5 and 6 for sure, so. Big strikeout on Catfish.
Like I said, I think my money would be on the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, just Pyramid by itself is 300 rupees or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly why the water walking trick works, but it does, and I don't know, I like it. I also never checked the Genos cave thinking about it. Maybe the flippers are just waiting there. Would be actually pretty likely.
Lude checked that. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like a heart piece or some money.
Which one, sir?
Also, technically, some chests if I skipped barring the one that had half magic. I was going to check the big chest, and there is an item in there. I just collected half magic along the way now. Yep, can confirm that was definitely half magic. Yeah, I think the Thief's some big chests fell out there.
Big riot shield there.
And when I say it's at the same time, I mean it's 5 easiest. Wait, never mind. Fullerton's probably talking about some other tournament match, not this unexciting business.
Are you kidding? These flippers have all the hype behind them now.
Yeah, now I can't quit until I find them. It's personal now.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, damn it, I thought I had them. Oh well.
Through save and quit, the purple lunchbox would probably be that, but it was also
Yeah, but
a huge sequence break anyways for this whole seed, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't think anything that's mid locked, I don't think can have the flippers.
No, because flippers led to boots, which led to hook shot, which led to mitts.
Yeah, I also checked the Ether tablets, and it was absolutely nothing worthwhile.
Yeah, either tablet
I'm
was
gambling
just
it on
20
this
rupees,
big
I think.
chest. That's something, but it's not what I was looking for.
Oh, that's right, you skipped the chest at blind cell too.
I'm trying to think of what else did I skip. Magic Bat might actually be an option.
There's Bonner. Both of you go mode at ice, but that was a sequence break, so that would be...
Yeah, ice can't ever contain the thingy flippers. Yeah, if this isn't it, if this is what I'm checking right now, isn't it, I'm definitely gonna go to the Pyramid Ferry.
Do you mean the maze game, or...?
No, I like that the maze game, it was just 3 bombs.
Magic Bat was not it, just FYI.
Well, you said that after I already checked it, so it got me 20 rupees. So
Oh, okay,
whatever.
I'm a little behind then.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. I'm significantly ahead because it's my thing. The fans are demanding Fat Ferry, so Fat Ferry it is.
Yeah, there's definitely not much more open world access it could have been.
But at least if I had the mirror, I would have shown off another stupid trick right now. But yeah, it's too much of a pain in the ass to set up from without the mirror. Yeah, if Pyramid Ferry happens to be the mirror, I'm probably not going to bother checking the rest because that's going to be too much. So that opens up too many options.
That's 100% true.
It doesn't open up Swamp, at least.
No, it definitely doesn't open up Swamp, but it breaks the scene wide open pretty much.
Butter was in Thieves Town Big Chest. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there they are.
Aha.
Had a feeling.
Yep.
It's rare that you have a 5 and 6 crystal that accessible and not actually lead to something. Luckily, you both managed to bypass that.
Yeah, if one of us hadn't, it would have been a massive time sink to get that, because you would have checked a lot of other locations first.
Yep.
I mean, my original plan was to do Skull into Thieves Town and check overworld spots, and then take the super bomb to the pyramid. But I felt like 6 hearts and Fighter Sword wasn't good enough for Mothula, so I wanted a little bit of extra support. So I went to Pod and Eastern first, and that gave me a lot more options. Oh wait, that was after I fake flippered, right? Well,
Yep.
I don't remember my logic. It was forever ago.
Yeah, Pod and Eastern actually only really led to the book. The book was bow locked, which led to desert, so it was required to go into Pod. And well, I guess Eastern had the hammer in it in the first chest.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. With these,
Nothing was actually bow locked there.
Yeah, no, the mirror was completely optional. No, I think that's about enough of this. Let's go to scour the rest of the seat for the remaining missing items. That's too
Thanks
much
for
effort.
satisfying
Yeah, we're
our
just going to make a
curiosity.
complete. We're going to reverse engineer the complete spoiler log now.
This is now a 100% tutorial for Randomizer. Go.
There would be significantly better people for that than me, I can tell you that much.
First, beat Ganon. Second, do everything else. 2-step tutorial. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook and MySpace and Friendster and...
Or if you lived in South Park, Instagram.
God, that was good times. Anyway, good game, everyone. Thanks for the restream and thanks for the commentary and everything. Pictures and you they already told you to. They already told you to follow me and Lewd, but also make certain you follow the commentary team and the tracker, and of course our restreamer, because they're all good people.
Just follow every single person here, every single viewer, every single streamer, every single runner. Follow everyone who has ever uttered the phrase "link to the past." If they have a Twitch account, follow them. If they have a sub button, click it. But no. Yeah, everyone involved with the tournament are excellent people and worthy of followship, I would say.
Yeah, thank you guys again for allowing us to restream that. It was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna have to actually watch the race though, because I'm curious about the actual difference between us.
It was definitely a lot closer for a whole lot of it, so it was really exciting to watch.
I'm glad it was. It's always fun that way. A lot more satisfying. It's a lot more satisfying to win when it's fairly close, as opposed to winning when it's a huge blowout.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely give it a rewatch. It was a great match. Yeah, would you like to send us off, Lyra?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll definitely see you next mission. See you guys in Game 3 tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same possibly channel.